York. This is WIUR Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the Booth Review here on WIUR Radio. It is a very cold Wednesday in New Rochelle, or hopefully wherever you are staying warm. I'm Robbie Basil, joined by Chase Caridi and JJ Seglio on another edition of our incredible show. Usually we'd open the topics with baseball. Unfortunately for your ears and eyes, that season has concluded. So we do not have to talk about that again till March or February or insert time period here. If you had like a calendar behind me, you'd be like, yes, this date, go for it. Sure. Put whatever date you want. That's when baseball will be coming back. So we have a lot that we could discuss today. Where do we want to start? JJ?
Well, I would like to say, for the record, since we are at Iona University, I would just like to say that last weekend was a magical weekend to be an Iona Gale. I mean, we've got guys going on SportsCenter's top 10 plays. We've got the debut of a new head coach putting up 105 points on the road. The Iona Gales men's soccer team scoring 5 goals in their first playoff game to blank the Quinnipiac Bobcats. I don't know, Rob. There's a lot going on in Iona, but it's a great week to be an Iona Gale.
Let's quickly talk about some of those headlines. Chase Caridi was actually on the call for men's basketball.
He was.
What was a very fun, energetic, and entertaining win for the Gales. They defeated the Hofstra Pride by just under 10 points.
81-73.
That was all one-sided for Iona in the first half, Chase. I mean, I remember hearing you and Eddie. It was at one point, I believe 18-2, and everyone was completely surprised. Threes were raining down from the sky, and it was a big day for CJ Anthony. What was your biggest takeaway from the Iona home opener?
I mean, listen, there was a lot, and I said on the broadcast copious times, it was going to be, a season, and especially opening game of surprises, not knowing really with Coach Giroux and everything that he was instilling in these players that came from all over the place, all coming together into this one idea that would be Iona men's basketball this year. Didn't know what to expect, and I think we got everything that we wanted and more as Iona fans and Iona broadcasters. Talking about that dominant first half they had, I mean, 3-pointers flying from all over the place, and just the tenacity and true athleticism that the whole team kind of showed off, really dominating the rhythm and opportunities in that game, had the Pride, in an absolute tailspin. And by the end of the game, they were able to get a little bit closer and closer in that matchup, but it really felt like Iona was in the driver's seat that whole match.
Yeah, I mean, I'll talk about it a little bit because I was sitting right next to you. I produced the game on WIUR. I'll be on the call for the next 2 games on WIUR, including one with this guy to my right on Tuesday night.
Versus the Princeton Tigers.
I gotta say, I am impressed with this Iona group offensively. I mean, putting up 81 and then 105. Last year, I don't remember what their highest point number was, but it was nothing that crazy.
Had to have been like 87 or 88.
I think it was less than that. And sometimes the offense got really stale. It got boring. And I think fans were fed up with that. And I've been very impressed with the offensive start from Dan Giroux's crew. I mean, 105, unheard of from a team like that. I mean, if you look at the box score overall, 3 players with over 20 points. A player that's really impressed me. I mean, Keyshawn Williams had a slow first game, but has been great and was great in the second. You had big days continuing from guys like CJ Anthony and Toby Harris, and they have so many good players. Like CJ Anthony, I don't believe was that great against UMKC, but there's been players, and this didn't happen last year.
Did win MAC Player of the Week, though.
He did win MAC Player of the Week for week 1, which shout out CJ. Great story if you haven't seen it.
Former student at Cincinnati, if I'm not mistaken.
Former Cincinnati Bearcat. I think the biggest story for me was when Iona was like, if Anthony got limited, he was on the team last year, they didn't have a second true scorer.
Nope.
And that was one part that really limited Iona's potential. This year, we've seen something completely different, and they could score. They have guys who can go to the basket, like Sabali, who we saw have that number 2 moment on Sports Center from Friday. He had another big, crazy dunk on Tuesday. You have Toby Harris, who could shoot the ball really well. You have a lot of guys that could shoot the ball very, very well. Keyshawn Williams as well. The young guys on the team I've been really impressed with so far. There's a lot to like on this team. It's just going to be how I know there's teams in the conference that can adjust well to teams that could shoot the 3 ball. I know a lot of teams adjusted to Siena. Siena was the clone of like Iona from last year, where they shot the ball really well. They had size, they could be explosive, but they got really limited against some of the better teams in the conference. If you're a fan of the Gales, that's something you don't want to see happen in the second half of the season. But as time goes on, I think we're going to see what this team is really made of, whether it be through Kosi, whether it be through Keyshawn Williams. I mean, who is going to be this team's true star? Because you saw CJ Anthony have 24, and then he had 7, but he still was effective regardless. On the flip side, you had a slow start from Keyshawn day 1. He proceeds to have 20 in game 2. There will be, I believe, some inconsistency in this group going forward. But if you're a fan of the Gales, you should be loving where this team is at. And I think, JJ, you would agree with me on that.
Absolutely. Tim Cluis, potentially welcome back, because this is something that I haven't seen from Iona in God knows how long. And to say that even though this is obviously my first year here, I am super pumped up for the game against Fordham on Friday night, where they take on a former Iona Gale in Dede Reeves, who transferred out because of the firing of Tobin Anderson. He went over to Fordham, aka the UC Riverside, apparently, of the East Coast.
Yeah, I mean, the story with Dede, who was a fantastic player for the Gales last season, he was that one true scorer from the team from last year.
Yep.
You had him and Adam Gies, the backcourt, one of, I believe, the best backcourts in the MAC from last season.
They were so good.
Both of them are gone. Jai's having his own problems out with Dayton, and Dede Reeves is actually off to a very good statistical start for a Fordham Rams team that are 2-1 on the season, though they don't look at the level that an A10 team should be early on. We will see what they're truly made of against the Gales inside the Heinz Center on Friday. But I want to go back to one more point, and I'll ask this as like a roundtable type of question. We'll start with you, Chase. Allowing a lot of points, they allowed 73 to Hofstra, which isn't the worst, but their second half defense, especially the start of the half, was a little concerning. And then they allow almost 100 to UMKC. Are you worried about the Gales defensively?
I mean, I think taking these 2 games separately, because, it is kind of a different story. That second half is when things kind of started falling off in that Hofstra matchup, but they were able to still, maintain that lead throughout and win that matchup. And then against UMKC, it was kind of nearing that end of the first half is when things kind of got watery. And then really throughout the second half, they continued to push forward. But again, like you said, this is a team that I think really embodies that kind of everybody eats mentality, as we said multiple times, when after CJ Anthony had that fantastic first game, going out and not performing at that same level in the second game. Also, foul trouble started early. That could have been also a result of that. But again, having multiple different people you could go to kind of facilitate this offense is something that I think they're much more persistently thinking of, and defense does take a backseat in that sense. So it is something that I think they're going to have to consider. But overall, if we continue to see really strong performances and efficiency throughout all of these players that could be thrown into this starting lineup, I think they're going to be a team that is always in the fight, whoever they're facing.
JJ?
So like I said just a few minutes ago, I said welcome back Tim Cluis, because if you remember his style of play as the Iona head coach, a lot of scoring, a little bit lackluster defense, but able to go out on runs where teams are not able to come back from. Like, for example, you mentioned earlier, 18-2 against the Hofstra Pride. I believe it was 23-5 before the first media timeout is what their rep told me. Something around those lines. But yeah, shots are flying all over the place. The defense was suffocating. Like, their first half defense is very good. I will admit that. They play very suffocating. Their trap defense is good. They get a ton of rebounds. Is something that I've noticed. But again, like also lights out scoring. You mentioned CJ Anthony. I'm going to give a couple shout outs to Kosi Akametu. He's been playing really well. Khalil Badru looked pretty solid against Hofstra. Not as much against Kansas City, but that's okay. I mean, it's only 2 games in, and it's really a lot to evaluate. There's not too much to evaluate when you're going into that type of, you're playing all the way out in Kansas City. Apparently, I didn't get home till 1:30 in the morning because I saw the buses outside my window pretty late last night.
Here's the question for me: why are you up at 1:30 in the morning?
Because I was doing a project. Anyway,
Type a comment down below what you think he was doing.
that's besides the point. Anyway, the offense that I'm seeing is fantastic, but yes, I am still a little bit concerned about the defense. I mean, they will get a lot of rebounds, like I previously mentioned, but when you're giving up 91 points to a Summit League team, that's a little concerning, but it is a non-conference game. You're still gelling with the new head coach under Dan Giroux, but overall, offensively, I love what I see. Defensively, got to work on it.
Yeah, it's something that we could see be a problem maybe going forward, but if the Gales continue to score like how they have been, I mean, averaging 90 points a game.
That's
First 2
remarkable.
games is a very good start. There's been a lot of winning from Iona teams. Iona women's basketball also looking really good.
They had a good result in New Haven, if I'm not
They
mistaken.
did beat New Haven, although it was a little bit uglier when you talk to people about that game that went to New Haven. Gales won 57-45 after beating Mercy, despite having a very close game against the D2 Mercy, a Mercy squad that the Mavericks really hung with that Iona team for a good bit. But there's been a lot of positives as well, Chase. I mean, you got to go. I mean, Isabella Middleton has been excellent. 17 points, has a double-double each of her first 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, a dominating performance, and I'm just really interested to see how they continue to move through this season. But obviously, all around, Iona has seen really, really good success in the beginning of these basketball seasons and the ending of the male soccer season.
Yeah, it was 3 players getting double digits in a win over New Haven, JJ, that we've seen. We didn't know with the women's team either. They have a good bit of newcomers themselves, but 2-0 to their first 2. They have a very tough test with Charleston coming up in a couple of days down in South Carolina. I mean, what's been the big? I mean, you've watched, I believe, at least one of the games, but when you look at the numbers and you look at the team so far, what has been your evaluation of the women's team?
My evaluation of the women's team is that they play incredible defense. I mean, they've given up under 55 points in both games. They gave up obviously 50 to Mercy. That's not great, but 45 against New Haven in a game where I'll be honest, I thought New Haven was going to make this game a lot closer. I thought it was going to be like a 3-point spread, 2-point spread, somewhere around those lines. But from what I've seen, again, you mentioned Isabella Middleton. She's been very solid for the Gales. And I love the way that they've been playing all 4 quarters. They're not just taking off and they're not letting teams go on runs. They're hanging in, they're battling, they're playing physical, they're playing aggressive. And that's what I love to see. But yeah, very tough road trip coming up in the Carolinas against Charleston and Davidson.
2 tough teams face Iona before they conclude their 3-game road trip, taking on Wagner College in what should be an interesting game between those 2 teams as well. For me, the biggest takeaway is that last year, this Iona team, they got banged up with injuries. A lot of things happened at the wrong time, but they have a couple bit of good players. And yes, some of them haven't gotten off to the hottest start, but they're still finding ways to, go out and score. And players for me to watch out for, we talked about Isabella Middleton. Maya Zaccanini had 12 points in the win over New Haven. Zoe Ward has been an impact down low. They have a couple other good forwards as well. Naomi has been excellent on top of it all. I mean, they have a good group. The worry that you have is that in their conference, they have the leading scorer in the country in Megan Anderson, who is off to a fantastic start.
She's unbelievable.
32.5 points per game. And actually it was deemed National Player of the Week.
Wow.
So Fairfield is going to be the game that you have to watch out for. I believe they do come to Iona. I think it's in February. I don't even remember at this point. But the thing for them, they can rebound the ball decently. They don't foul as much, I think, in comparison to the team from last year. They're a good group. I think the scoring is going to be their biggest question mark. They can defend well, but a lot of these teams in the MAC can typically score pretty decently. So
like
that's something,
Fairfield that you
like
mentioned.
Fairfield, like Quinnipiac. So I think they could hang around towards the top, and they have a lot of good players that they can get there to hang out towards the top 4. but it's going to be an interesting stretch for them as well. And to wrap up our Iona segment today, in substitution for baseball, Iona men's soccer take on the Siena Saints in a semifinal that could be a clash between two of the Max powerhouses. Iona and Siena played earlier in the season, played out to a very boring 0-0. A game I was on the call for.
Yeah, about to say, you
and
called that
nothing
game.
happened. Like, absolutely. I don't even remember what the best chance
So was it just this, like, the usual soccer stereotype of people literally kicking a ball up and down a field for 90 minutes?
I think it was a mixture of that. I think both teams came out very cautious. Iona played played their style. They just couldn't find a way to break through. Siena played a very low block. They couldn't really get in between the lines like how they usually would. And Siena played out a very good result. They went out and got a draw. But Iona against teams in first, second, and fourth are unbeaten against all three. But the only bad part is that all three were draws.
Yeah.
So it was a draw at Sacred Heart. It was a thrilling 1-1 against Fairfield and a 0-0 against Siena. So going forward, all four of them, by the way, made it to the semifinals. Fairfield beat Niagara 4-1 after going up 3-0 in a span of 15 minutes.
That was a ball game.
That was a phenomenal showing from Fairfield. And Iona, if you didn't watch the game, the Gales jumped out quickly to a 2-0 lead before 3 quick goals in succession right before the rain came. Put this game to bed. Iona winning 5-0 at home. Chase, we'll start with you again because I said your name first. Alvaro Monero was the story with 3 goals. You had a good games from Yannick Vogel, who came off the bench and scored. But one player that I got to interview him afterwards. Another clean sheet for Fernando Schmelz. He's been excellent as well, making a couple of big saves, including almost getting out the Sports Center himself with a triple save late in the second half. I mean, 5-0. There's so much you could take away from a game like that. But what was the thing that caught your eye from this one?
I mean, I think the thing that we got to talk about the most is, as you've said, with all these draws, they got to be able to play close games and really hold the other team with their defense. They did that very well with Schmelz's save ability and also slowing down many opportunities. Obviously, it's very nice to see a major offensive explosion being able to win in that first postseason matchup, 5-0. And again, this is a team that spreads around the ball well. A couple of guys got multiple goals, and that's really big in terms of continuing a rhythm throughout all the players. But I think, again, it's got to come down to really just the opportunity, squandering that for the opposing team before they're able to blow up offensively like we've seen they've been able to do, like in this matchup.
Gales winning 5 of their last 6 playoff games, including, and what's the funny part, where have all those games been?
Mazzella
right
Field.
here at Mazzella. And all 6 of those have been at Mazzella. This is their first road playoff game in a very long time that is in the MAC tournament. For reference, they hosted the MAC final. Each of the last 2 years, they'll try to make it 3 in a row if they find a way to win. And Sacred Heart, the 1 seed, loses to Fairfield. Both games, by the way, tomorrow on ESPN+. But JJ, for Iona's path to the final, I mean, it's not the easiest path. They got in a MAC that has been so competitive this year, but you see a 5-0 like that. You were there filming the game. You got to hear the atmosphere. You got to see the environment of play. I mean, just talk to us a little bit about the game from your perspective, because it was a fantastic showing for the Maroon and Gold.
Well, I projected a 2-1 victory over the Quinnipiac Bobcats for Iona, and I expected them to win. That being said, I did not see that coming whatsoever. I mean, I had a feeling that Alvaro was going to you mentioned when we did the Canisius prep, like for that pregame show for the men's game, you said Alvaro Monero had only 1 goal going into that game, if I'm not mistaken.
It was at one point it was 1, but he was struggling to go out and score, but he's been able to bag. I mean, I think it was 1 goal from open play.
Yeah, because the other was a penalty.
Because he had a penalty,
Monmouth.
a free kick, and then another one.
Yeah, it was Monmouth.
It could have been another. It was a penalty against Monmouth. It was an open play goal against Merrimack. No, it was free kick against Merrimack. What was the other one? I forgot. But
either way, he put all the critics to bed. He played out of his mind. Hat-trick was great. That goal from Vogel was beautiful, coming right off the bench, right onto the score sheet. But yeah, man, Fernando Schmelz, you interviewed him after the game, obviously.
I did.
Fernando Schmelz, man, that triple save was That was probably the loudest pop of the entire game.
It
Was the triple save.
It was. Schmelz put on a phenomenal performance, something we've seen from him in the past. Also want to give a quick shout out to all MAC guys because there's a handful.
7 of them, if I'm not mistaken.
Alvaro Monero got second team. Andres Becerra, who's like been the quiet, like the least known fullback I've ever seen. Jaime Roman also at fullback. The defense has been excellent. Bruno Rivera has been a part of that. And then at the forward line, you've Mbia Balor made the third team, Calais Schoberg and Fernando Schmelz. I do think I'll be honest about this. I think a couple of players got robbed for this.
Who do you think got robbed?
I'll name you 2.
Go for it.
Chris Morandi is one of them.
Okay.
Leading one of the I think he's tied for the lead in points on the team.
Okay.
He was at one point the leading goal scorer on this team. He is the leading assister on this team going into the postseason game. Now it's Calais Schoberg who's leading in the team in assists.
I do have a guess on who the other one is.
And the other one is Florian Schutt.
That was not who I was going to think of.
Has been a stalwart at center back. Him and Bruno Rivera, and even when you mix in Emilio Rossi when he drops into central defense, all 3 of them have been excellent. All 3 of them could have been all MAC selections. So I'm a little bit shocked. I think the most shocking one to me was that Florian Schutt for how impactful he was. 6'5" center back from Germany, that he did not make an all MAC team. And what's crazy is that he has more goals. At one point, had more goals than half of our forwards. He is massive. He's been great on set pieces. He's been the most impactful defender that the Gales have had all season when he's been healthy. It was very surprising that
The most important thing,
Florian Schutt
though,
did not make it to an all MAC team. I think that's a problem.
I do agree. I feel like with your description, like that has to be an all MAC guy. What I'm very happy about, however, is feels like the Iona Gales have figured out their ways and they're finally scoring goals. It's about time. Now, I feel like might as well just wrap up the Iona segment with predictions for Thursday night's game, Thursday afternoon's game between Iona and Siena. I may as well go first because I'm not going to take too long with this. If you think that I'm going to go against a team that just won 5-0 and they're the reigning MAC champs, and since you said that Fairfield is the favorite against Sacred Heart.
A lot of people have liked that Fairfield. It's a good matchup. I mean, Fairfield played a great game with Sacred Heart last Wednesday. I mean,
basically a border rivalry.
It's both teams play in Fairfield, Connecticut. So it's going to be a very fun derby out in Fairfield. So a lot can happen in that game and a lot can happen in ours as well.
But I'm going to go with a 1-0 win for the Iona Gales, last minute winner. And I'm going to say someone that I feel like a lot of people were not talking about. I feel like he is due for another. I think that Mora Bravo gets himself a last minute winner against the Siena Saints in the 87th minute to send the Iona Gales back to the MAC championship.
To me, there is no way this game does not go to extra time. The way the first matchup played out and how frustrating it was for both sets of front lines to not break through at all. This game will go to extra. I believe is going to go to extra time. I have Iona winning 1-0. It is going to be a back and forth show. I think both goalkeepers this season have been excellent. Fernando Schmelz getting on the third team. Siena having one of the most underrated teams in the Northeast this season. They've hung around with some of the top programs in the region. I mean, going back earlier in the season, they hung around with a ranked UMass group, a UMass team that were very disappointing in the back end of their season, only winning 1 game in the Summit League. But they're a team that doesn't mess around for 90 minutes.
No.
Siena hung around with the Minutemen for all 90, only losing 3-2 against a team that many thought could be national title contenders or like make it to a quarterfinal again. They were in the national quarterfinals last year. And in week 1, they go out and play Siena, and it was a phenomenal showing.
At least UMass has something to be proud about.
So, yes, it was while they played a team that ended up being very disappointing in the Minutemen, this Siena team knows how to go out and play a lot of good teams hard and play a lot of these good teams well. That's how I think they got the draw. That's how they have the second seed. Though, playing in Loudonville, it's a very big task for any team in any sport. That's the one thing I've learned over the years here. So I think it's going to be a very fun game. Siena fans are going to be loud. I think Iona, though, they've been decent on the road this season, unbeaten in their last 6. I think they make it 7, and the Gales win 1-0 in extra time.
Love it.
Listen, when it comes to, I don't want to give another 1-0 Iona prediction here, so I'm going to say maybe it's wishful thinking. I think the offense, as we've seen from Iona, is expected absolutely blew up in that first postseason game. And they're not going to go crazy in this one, but I will have it be 2-1 Iona. Get a little bit more interesting in terms of the actual offense that both teams are able to get across. But as we've said, these both two teams play incredibly hard ball, especially in stopping the other team from scoring. But I think that's what I'm going to go with. Iona full clean sweep here.
Hopefully, we're covering a MAC championship win next time.
We'll see. There's a lot to unfold over the next 24 hours in Iona men's soccer. Of course, Iona men's basketball taking on the Fordham Rams. You can check out the game on WIUR on Mixler. Coverage begins at 6:50 once again. And also on Tuesday, Iona hosting the Princeton Tigers. Last year, Iona opened with, I think it was fairly recently, Iona opened with Princeton. The Gales were dominant. They've actually found a way to blow it.
They lost in overtime, 91-90. It was the shortest margin of victory.
It wasn't an overtime game, by the way. It wasn't.
Then it must have been regulated. The year before was overtime, I believe.
No, they're both in regular season.
One of them was in overtime.
Gales lost to Charleston, and then they lost to Princeton in both thrilling games.
1-9 all time against the Princeton Tigers.
It's going to be an interesting matchup Tuesday, also starting at 6:50. Make sure to check it out. We'll be right back. It is time for the best part of our show. It is time to talk football. We break down it all when we return on WIUR Radio.
Untouchable, unstoppable.
This is WIUR Sports Radio.
Hi, I'm Robbie Basil, president of WIUR Radio, and I hope you're enjoying today's show. Have you ever wanted to call the biggest games, the biggest moments for the biggest names for Iona Athletics? Then the newly founded WIUR Sports Radio is the place to be. Launched in January of 2025, our goal is to try and get broadcasters here at Iona an opportunity to learn, succeed, and get a chance to be on air. From getting to call the big moments at the hack,
Dinkins trying to go to the rack. Denied. Yafet Mundi with
to seeing the crack of the bat at City Park.
the line drive into left field, around third, and it kicks away. The Gales are going to win it in 10.
We make those moments happen on our brand new WIUR Sports Radio platform on Mixer. If you're interested, feel free to reach out to me via email or to the rest of my e-board to join the club. We are WIUR Sports Radio, the new home of Iona Athletics. Now, back to the show on WIUR, Iona University Radio. You already know what time it is. If you don't know what time it is and you've never watched this show, go back to last week and around this point, and you will know what time it is. I'll give you 3 seconds. 3, 2. We'll skip that part. Welcome back to the NFL segment of our show. We've done this for 9 weeks, and it's the same segment for parts 2 and 3 because while sometimes we do lack originality, even though we did have those fun names.
We had a funeral
Halloween
session for the Jets.
We did have a funeral session last week, but guess what? Dang it. They won again. Unbelievable. Why? Okay. So thank you. The Jets played the Cleveland Browns. We'll start with the New York Jets, who played another barn burner for some reason. Apparently the Jets only like beating teams from Ohio. I don't know how to feel about that. Though the last time the Jets won with their number one starter at the beginning of the season against the Bengals, I actually looked this up. It's been a very long time. I actually forgot what it was.
So their number one starting quarterback, right?
Because the last time we beat the Bengals, we had Mike White at quarterback.
You did the 34-31 thriller at MetLife.
So let's look at the numbers from the Jets. Our leading player, Breece Hall, who had 83 rushing yards. He had 125 yards total.
Yikes.
How many yards did Justin Fields have?
120?
54. In the pouring rain, which they actually had worse rain than we did in New Row.
Really? It was
6
worse
for
than
11,
New Row.
54 yards and a touchdown. Oh, and by the way, well, he had a QBR of 15, which is unbelievable. A rating of 60.4. He did throw his first interception of the season. It took 8 weeks. Whatever it was.
How was that his first interception?
We don't throw the ball enough.
True.
Shout out, though, there was no player on the Jets who had multiple catches.
None. Mason Taylor had 1. John Mechie
He
had,
had
1.
one.
Isaiah Davis had 1.
Isaiah Williams had 1, and Brees Hall's lone catch
42
was
yards.
42 yards for a touchdown. The Jets win because the Browns got a stupid penalty on 3rd down or a pass interference. It was illegal contact, and they jumped on offsides on 4th down. Jets win.
Of course they did. AKA the worst, by the way, illegal contact. The worst penalty in the NFL. Just call it defensive holding. That's what it is.
Yeah, sometimes it is.
It mostly is.
Sometimes
But
it
the
isn't.
biggest thing that you have to bring up for the Jets, and I'm sorry if I'm cutting you off here, is the Jets won because of their special teams having a kick return touchdown and a punt return touchdown in the same game.
And on consecutive
On
special
consecutive special teams. How is that even possible? Like,
by the
what
way,
is this?
I gotta
season?
say shout for John Mechie for touching the ball twice and having negative yards.
That's takes.
He touched the ball
talent.
twice and has negative. So he is the only player on the Jets right now with negative yards.
That takes talent.
Unbelievable. We're not doing that again. Though, what was the most impressive part from the Jets? You mentioned the special teams with
TK
Ngwangu
Nkwonu and Isaiah Williams.
and Isaiah Williams getting the punt return touchdown. Nick Folk was great. They didn't collapse under pressure. They were under pressure late against the Browns. They had a great stop at the end. They limited the Browns. They were marching down the field. Dillon Gabriel, though he was sacked 6 times, he was still able to move the ball pretty decently.
They almost had 100 more yards than the Jets did.
They did. And the thing I liked about Dillon Gabriel, and I think a lot of people didn't like about Dillon Gabriel, is how much he wanted to move. The Jets didn't spy the quarterback very well. That's one thing that that's why I wish we had Quincy Williams back, because he was really good at that, and they don't start him anymore, which is a concern. But the Jets still found a way to get to the quarterback of the Browns. 6 sacks despite trading away Quinton Williams, and we forced a lot of chaos with no Sauce Gardner. So though the worry for the Jets, Garrett Wilson got hurt again. So GG's to Garrett Wilson. He doesn't have to do anything for a month again, which makes me very sad. Regardless, the Jets did something, and we actually won a football game. We have more wins in the last 2 weeks than the Buffalo Bills.
Okay. Didn't feel necessary, but all right.
No, that was the note that I found this morning, and I just purposefully wrote it, and then I forgot you were sitting to my left.
To make
Let's
matters
talk about the
worse,
Bills, because while we will be saving the Giants for next,
Yeah, we are going to be saving the Giants.
let's talk about the Bills. They were not good.
No, they weren't. Listen, you go into a game against the 2-7 Miami Dolphins, and you think, this team is destined to be terrible. Mike McDaniel's on his way out. They already fired Chris Greer. Tua Tagovailoa is a joke of a quarterback. They really only have Devon Achane, and it only took Devon Achane to win that game. Fantasy says it. The box score says it.
40 points.
And just, it's been coming for a while. Having those 2 back-to-back losses before the bye, and then you come out, you beat Andy Dalton-led Carolina Panthers team, which was, apparently a trap game. And then you face the Chiefs, you beat them, and of course, almost like everyone would have thought, at least the front office did, was, we don't have to change anything. We don't have to make any additions or do anything different because, we just beat the Chiefs. That's all we need to do, especially when it comes to the postseason. We can't do that, can we? So you come out next week against this terrible Dolphins team. I can't stress enough how bad this team is. You don't trade Bradley Chubb. You don't trade Jalen Waddle. You get rid of Jalen Phillips. Cool. Awesome. You're totally ready to tank for nothing because you're stuck with Tua. But you had a matchup and, things are promising at first. You start with the interception of Tua, and then you get the offensive drives time and time again. The Buffalo Bills just get timed out. They don't have any weapons to go to offensively. Try to get James Cook going. Of course, they still can't do it. Joe Brady can't scheme wide receivers open for the life of him. Keon Coleman burns a guy who then got subsequently benched by McDaniel because that's how embarrassing it is to give up a touchdown to Keon Coleman. Dawson Kincaid goes out. Who knows when we'll see him again. So Dawson knocks in
Jackson Hawes.
show, which they can't do much. Josh Allen tried to put the team on his back once again, and he fumbled, and that's a reminder. He's a human. He's not Superman. He can't take a team all the way deep into the postseason just by himself when the defense is battered, and even when fully healthy, they're bad. The receiving core isn't anything. And James Cook, If he was like just so recently ago, we thought, he had offensive player of the year aspirations, such a nice September.
Yeah, no.
Not anymore. Also, because Jonathan Taylor exists. But besides
Yeah.
him,
You stole my line. I
James
love
Cook
it.
still really strong player, had a fumble, not too worried about it. But again, it comes down to this team not fundamentally being built to succeed. It's just relying on really the high-end talent of a Josh Allen, a James Cook. Even on the defensive side, you lose a guy like Ed Oliver for probably the whole season. Guys like Teron Johnson, Matt Milano, you thought were going to be, continue to play at the star level that they've been at. They've regressed. All these players have. And unfortunately, I really don't know what to expect throughout the rest of the season. I think they're going to stay competitive. I think they're going to find their way in the postseason. But after that, whoever they lose to, please don't be the Chiefs again. After that, when we get to the offseason, it's going to be interesting, obviously, how they deal with cap situation, how they deal with trying to draft guys, because there is still young talent that is promising, like Cole Bishop, Maxwell Hairston. It's going to be interesting to see those guys develop and who else they're going to add on top of that. But overall, not good, boys. Not
Changes
good
have to be made.
at all.
Hey, Joe
Who
Brady.
knows what those
uh,
means?
So Brady.
Brian Daboll, your advisor role is coming soon.
Say, question. So they were, just from my memory, they replaced. When was the last time the Bills lost to the Dolphins? Was it when Kevin Dorsey was offensive coordinator?
When he destroyed the booth
Yes.
Yeah,
again
that was
in that
it.
terrible game where what was it? Stephon Diggs was
Isaiah
cramping on the
McKenzie.
sideline. Who
Cam
cares? I don't
McKenzie wouldn't
care.
go out of bounds.
Yeah, tough game. Tough game. Still not fun. It's probably worse. I'd have to say this one. I mean, at least
This
like
was
the feeling
significantly
was
worse.
numbing after a while. I mean, after Achane ran off for that last touchdown, make it 30-13. I don't think I cared anymore. But still, it is unfortunate to see just how far from grace this team really has fallen from the aspirations to be the number one seed to probably not even going to win the division, because the MVP front runner, Drake May, is sitting in your division as well. Thanks, New England, for again
Evil
Why
finding
is this a
an
time?
The
all-time
evil
player.
empire is back,
Timelines-
everybody.
Kyle Williams is awesome.
Kyle Williams is
pretty
awesome.
sick.
But you know it's bad, however, Chase, when our boy Jackson Hawes has more touchdowns than Khalil Shakir, Dalton Kincaid, James Cook, and Dawson Knox
Well,
combined.
Receiving touchdown. But,
That's impressive.
Touchdowns, period. James Cook didn't have a touchdown
in the game, you mean?
in
yeah.
the game.
Well, obviously,
Jackson Hawes
Dawson Knox looked the wrong way and
No
got
kidding.
Josh Allen got
Jackson
intercepted.
Hawes
That's what
had
happens
more
because
touchdowns.
your starting tight end, your only offensive weapon, gets hurt. I can't stress this enough. Mike McDaniel benched a defensive back because he got burnt by Keon Coleman.
That's
How does that happen?
How
You
is that
can't make that up.
possible?
You can't make that up. It's hilarious. Do I even know the name of the guy who got burnt? No, because
Probably.
you shouldn't be remembered because you got burned by Keon Coleman.
Unbelievable.
That's
Unstoppable.
unbelievable.
Yes. Yeah, the Bills lost. Speaking of losing, we'll talk about the Giants in a second. But other teams that went out and lost,
The 49ers who got belted by the Los Angeles
the
Rams.
Jaguars, which is actually my focus today.
Jaguars are a lockout
The
contender.
Jaguars
Hell
who
yeah,
are
the
leading.
Texans won.
The
No,
Jaguars.
you just Texans. Let's go.
Oh no, I picked the
You
Jags.
chose the Jags.
took the
Get
Jags.
out of here.
Get outta
You
here.
didn't believe in Davis
team you-
Mills, baby.
The team you took is probably going to win lockout of the week. The Jacksonville Jaguars blowing a 19-point lead in the fourth quarter.
I thought I picked the damn.
Bro didn't
I
believe in the
forgot.
legend of Davis Mills.
Davis Mills,
I
who
did.
makes the Texans offense look better than CJ Stroud this year.
Phil Collins is
Other
back.
unbelievable performances. The Steelers refused to move the ball.
Watching that
Who
game,
picked the Steelers?
I did.
Yes.
I took
Like,
yes.
genuinely, I don't know what you were thinking.
Yeah, seriously, dude.
I should have known. The Chargers own the Steelers. I
Hey,
should have
you-
known.
So much for fraud watch against this
Yeah.
very
the
real
Steelers are
team.
definitely on fraud watch.
They are not a real team.
But to make
They're
something,
not-
I know what to
actually,
bring
no,
this.
I gotta say this.
Go right
because
ahead.
we
It's a
have
bad
to go to
team.
break in a second. The Eagles. What was that? 10-7. Like no, you can make the. I mean, I guess 10-7 is the scoreline of the week.
I
because-
present the greatest week of primetime football we will ever see.
Yeah,
Absolutely marvelous.
no one wants to move the ball. Shout out Denver as well.
That was worse.
at this rate.
That was bad.
The Denver could have put. I think Denver at one point could have put up 6 or 7.
Tyler
points and
Lockett,
won this
leading
game.
receiver in that game
Unbelievable.
Tyler
with
Lockett.
44 yards.
44
It's
yards.
fantastic. Speaking of bad performances, there's so many. The Saints, they won.
Tyler
There's some-
Shuck, who actually looked really good against Carolina.
Shout
Yeah,
out
remember when the
Chris
Panthers
Olave.
were like good for like a week?
Yep,
Yeah.
and they beat
That was
the
cool.
Packers.
That's cool. Well, the
They
Packers
did.
aren't.
Who really need
The
to be.
Cleveland Browns beat the Packers.
Yeah, we really need to look at the Packers.
Ravens are back. That's
The Ravens are
The
back.
Bucks are not. The
Bucks-
Cardinals.
Bucks
are
they
just
lost.
hurt.
Bucks are
The
not.
Bucks are just hurt. DeMarcus Lawrence somehow managed to have 2 touchdowns after getting the fumbles forced by the same guy on both of them, and then running both of them back in the same game against the Cardinals.
Yeah, shocking. The Cardinals aren't good.
No kidding. And you mentioned Drake May, because I do in our highlights before we go to break. The real MVP front-runner plays in Los Angeles,
No, he doesn't.
and his
No,
name
he
is Matthew
doesn't.
Stafford.
I thought you were about to say Justin Herbert.
No.
Jonathan
Stafford
Taylor's
was
more of an
un-
MVP candidate than Matt
Stafford
Stafford.
with another 4-touchdown performance. The offense hummed against the 49ers and ran.
Matt Jones outplayed him
No, he didn't.
statistically.
No, he didn't.
He had 319 yards.
On what? 50 passes?
40.
Stafford did better.
39, I think.
Look at the numbers. Stafford played better.
Well,
Stafford has now thrown, I believe, 22 straight touchdowns without 1 interception.
know what he can't do? Beat Davis Mills and come back against the Jaguars. But
He could beat them.
the Ravens are back. You mentioned that despite JJ McCarthy having under a 50% completion percentage.
And the Giants fired Brian Dable finally.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Finally.
Good.
Mike Kafka,
not
the interim
really.
head coach.
I don't know.
I mean, Dart's hurt. It's over.
The darts hurt. Neighbors is out.
But there is a sign
Scattergood
of
is destroyed his leg.
there is a sign of hope, however, as for the meme world, the Giants will be starting Jameis Winston against the Green Bay Packers.
Honestly, that's probably who knows if that's better.
They could go and mess around and win that game.
they
honestly,
really could. The Packers are
No,
possible.
Winston's get over 400 yards and lose.
400 yards, 4
Yeah.
touchdowns, 3 interceptions.
Yes.
throw a pick to Xavier
That's the
McKinney.
Jameis Winston way.
Yeah, well, you get to hear some of our incredible picks when we come back from this break here on WIUR Radio.
This is WIUR Radio.
Hi, this is Anthony Carlo, TV news reporter in New York City and proud alum. If you're looking for a career in media, Iona is the place to be. From internships to real-world experience, Iona's media program is unprecedented. Take it from an industry professional who made it in the biz.
Now back to WIUR, Iona University Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for memes. It's time to see who sucks at their job, and it's time to see who will probably be more accurate than JJ McCarthy because he went under.
Definitely
50%.
not me.
Before we go into our monstrosity of whatever is about to happen, can you read out the scores from
All
last
right,
week, please?
so let's go in order, starting with
Actually, hold on real quick.
Go right ahead.
Comment down below before you hear this part. Who do you think did the best?
and comment down below if you think you could do better than us.
I know I didn't win because I'm not good at this.
Because you
Apparently,
the Texans, but,
I'm
yeah.
decent at this.
hey, he picked the Steelers. I
did
know
take
both of us.
the-
have
I
lost.
did take the
And I chose
Steelers.
the right one in both of those.
So the good news for Mr. Robbie Basil
Hello.
is he did redeem himself for that horrible Jaguars pick by taking the New England Patriots.
Yes.
And they
Ah.
won.
Sorry, Baker. I
That
love
was a
you, bro.
matchup.
He
but,
then
you
made
know.
up for it by losing with the Jaguars pick, lockout of the week
Good.
contender. 1-1. The Ravens he took, he's 2-1. Yet he was the idiot that took the San Francisco 49ers to
I
beat
did.
the Rams, and they got absolutely belted.
I did pick San Francisco. No regrets, by the way.
He's 2-2. Then he took the Chargers to go
Yes.
3-2.
Yes.
That's big.
But then he took the Green Bay Packers.
I'll take 500.
He ended up at 500.
I have a better record
Yeah.
than the Jets still. I'll take
That
it.
is true. And now for Mr. Chase Caridi,
I'll take
Let's
it.
go.
who started 1-1 also, but then won
With what matchup?
3 in a
1-1.
row.
With what matchups?
You took the Buccaneers.
Oh,
Ah.
rip.
Right.
Yeah, we both did the
Yes.
Bucs.
Take me.
You want
Ah.
Tom Brady's back, ladies and gentlemen.
And he can run now.
He can, yes, and he can run now.
He's the true North Carolina hero. Mitch Trubisky, move aside, bro.
Sammy
Steve.
Howell.
Sammy
Have a nice
Howell,
day.
get out of
Not
here.
even Bill Belichick, who
Yeah,
I know is
exactly.
seething right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's 1-1. Then
Brilliant.
he took the Ravens, Rams, and Chargers. Got him all right.
Oh, cool.
He
Very good.
is 4-1. And
Nice.
then he took the Packers. He ended up at
Congrats.
4-2.
Rip.
But I think it might be enough. I started 1-1, then I went to 3-1. I then went to 4-1. Then I took the god darn Pittsburgh Steelers.
Unbelievable. How am I last?
4-2
So
all
I ended up
around?
with 4-2, which means that this guy came in last place, all because he took the Jacksonville Jaguars, who blew a 19-point lead to the Houston Texans in the fourth
You
quarter.
have no one to blame but yourself.
See, the only thing I can blame,
The Jaguars.
Not Davis Mills.
The
Davis,
Jaguars.
Iron Eagle. I love you, bro, but the reverse jinx is kind of nuts.
What did he do?
I don't even remember. I'm just blaming. I love Iron Eagle. I had the chance to like almost meet him, but like he's a good dude. But like
Shout out Sheldon
every
Rankins.
time this happens, and I pick one game that Iron Eagle is calling, and they're leading in the fourth quarter, they lose. Why?
That sounds like a you problem.
I
It
know
is a you
it is a
problem.
big problem. Just like how JJ's gonna bottle all these picks this week. So let's get underway.
Shots
with these-
fired, especially because I will potentially play you in the fantasy football playoffs. My worst nightmare is most likely going to happen unless
This
I
guy
get it
won.
together.
That's all that matters. I beat him by 50.
And it was.
He did.
Which could be the same result for one of these teams. And we're kicking off our week with the Buccaneers,
That's not cool.
led by Baker Mayfield,
It was
taking
going
on James Cook and the Bills. We'll go to you last. So JJ, I'm too used to saying Chase first.
That's okay.
Go first.
All right. So obviously, I took the Buccaneers last week and I was proven wrong. The Bills have showed flashes. Don't get me wrong. You would think to yourself, there's no way they lose at home again after that horrible Dolphins game. Well, unfortunately, the Buccaneers just ran into an absolute empire. I know I jinxed them last week, but I'm taking the Buccaneers again.
So I'm not taking the Bucks. I am taking the Bills. They have one of the best home records in the AFC, despite the Buccaneers having one road loss, which is very impressive. I mean, it's Josh Allen at home. I don't even remember what their only home. What is their home loss?
The Patriots.
It is the Patriots at home.
The Patriots.
Okay, that's good. So both of these teams know how to lose to New England. So I'm gonna pick the team that didn't lose to New England last week. I'm gonna go with the Buffalo Bills.
That game already feels like a year ago. Okay. So, the Buccaneers, they've really had a fall from grace. They were like, top tier, looking at Baker Mayfield as an MVP contender, had that great, shootout game with Sam Darnold and the Seahawks. Faces another top quarterback here with Josh Allen. And I'd be lying if I said right before I went in for this show today, I didn't see that the practice report for the Bills has like limited for like half the players on the roster because
Oh, good.
that's how this season has gone.
That's wonderful.
But nevertheless, I'm going with the Buffalo Bills. I believe
Yes.
in the ability of their talent. Couldn't beat the 2-7 Dolphins, but the Bucks taking them down.
They love to play up to competition, and as they say, Chase,
Like the
no one.
Falcons.
You know what they say? Nobody
Falcons
circles.
don't lose to-
Nobody
oh, yeah, that's-
circles
that
the
makes sense.
wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, the
Buffalo all the way this
Oh,
time.
shout out to the
Buffalo all the way
Falcons.
this time.
Yeah, Falcons that don't know
That's
how to
his
beat good
fantasy
teams.
football name, by the way, with a picture of a
What
deer
is it?
getting interviewed
What-
by
what
the
is
mic.
it?
Buffalo all the way this time. In the Iona Gales.
Just call it
League.
say the next
Oh,
one.
in the Iona Gales League.
Yes.
Next game. Speaking of selling and losing, the Jags are back again.
Oh, boy.
They're rejoining us. They're taking on my best pick of last week, the Los Angeles Chargers, a Chargers team that loves to win on the road. I'm setting the tone right now. Jacksonville is not winning in this game. This is revenge. So Jacksonville will probably win now because I'm not picking them. Chargers, please don't lose this. We're gonna laugh. You can clip this now. We will be laughing at this when the Jags beat the Chargers. I'm picking the Chargers.
Rob, I feel
anyway.
like if the Jaguars win the AFC South, you should have to buy a Jaguars
No.
jersey because
I'm
of your
never
absolute
buying into-
now hatred towards the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Listen, I wanted to be tied with y'all at the end of the week. I couldn't because the freaking Jaguars.
I would have won if it wasn't for the goddamn Pittsburgh
This guy just didn't
Steelers.
believe in the Texans. It's really the moral of the story.
Didn't believe in the general.
So how about I'm picking against the AFC South again? I'm going with the Chargers. Chase.
I'm gonna also go with the Chargers. They lose Travis Hunter for the season, and also
that is true.
they make the trade for Jacoby
Yeah.
Myers. I still don't like their weapons at all. Parker Washington's cool. BTJ, if he's healthy, still isn't good. Trevor Lawrence, maybe he steps up. This is a solid defense we got here with the Chargers, and I think that they're clicking just enough. Obviously, after a dominant win against the Steelers, who aren't a good team. But I'm gonna go with the Chargers for this one.
Well, the Los Angeles Chargers, or as I like to call them, the San Diego Chargers, have been proving me wrong since we started this show.
Good.
Maybe because they're good.
They are good defensively. Offensively, do they even know what that is?
Say that to
No.
Kalani, the
Bro,
Because
have
their
you
head
watched
coach-
the Steelers?
They don't know what offense is.
Thank you.
Yeah, you thought they were good.
That's the standard. The standard's the standard, Robbie. As long
What are
as
you
they go
talking
9-8,
about?
that's all that matters. As long as they go 9-8,
That doesn't make them a good team.
That's what they consider good. Like I
That's
said,
not good enough to beat the Chargers.
no
Clearly.
kidding. They haven't beat the Chargers in years.
Then why didn't you pick them?
I don't know.
Pick this game.
Chargers.
Okay, next matchup.
Unbelievable. Oh, my God.
Stop.
Which means the Jaguars are most definitely winning that.
Next up,
Shout out to you,
we're
Trevor
going
Lawrence.
to Denver, Colorado.
Oh boy.
The Chiefs are going to Denver. Denver have not lost a home game yet. The Chiefs suck on the road. So naturally, I'm picking the Broncos again. I think the one time I picked the Broncos, I was not wrong. So we're gonna go with that.
What matchup was that?
Am I worried? Am I
It may
worried?
have been the
Might have been like
Texans.
week
Was it
3.
the Texans
know.
game?
No, you chose the Texans.
Naturally.
This guy
Of course
chose the
he took the
Texans.
Texans.
Yeah. Anyway, who'd you go with?
I'm going with the Broncos against the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs suck on the road. Though they did play a lot of good teams on the road. They're playing another good one, though they did lose to my new arch nemesis, the Jacksonville
They did,
Jaguars.
and that team blew it the next week.
They did blow it. They completely blew
The
it.
Broncos,
like the
have looked-
Bills.
the Broncos have looked terrible. They did win 10-7 last week. You could give them 6 or 7 tries to win this game, and they could have taken like maybe one chance, maybe 0, and they still would have been the Raiders. So I'm a little bit worried about that. I think it's gonna be a low scoring affair again. Give me the Broncos by 3 points.
All right. So this is the first time that you might actually get a Broncos game right because you've never taken the Broncos correct all season.
I thought I did.
Nah, I
Then
just looked, you
that's like
haven't.
the one we got picked the freaking Texans.
There's the one where you took the. It was one where you took the Texans and the one where you took the Eagles. We all.
Didn't we break Broncos Chargers?
I think we
Like
did.
a week.
Well, the
we could probably
Chargers
just
won,
Broncos.
so the Broncos would have
Oh,
lost the
yeah,
game.
yeah, my bad.
Yeah, they go with the
My bad on that
Broncos.
one.
AFC teams are Robbie Basil's kryptonite.
Apparently.
As a
Anyway,
Jets fan,
I'm not falling for the propaganda of the Kansas City Chiefs. Wow, I'm so moved with what they've done. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes cannot handle good defenses.
Didn't you
Apparently,
Didn't you fall for the propaganda of the Steelers?
that's when Danny Erb is one of your closest friends. It is hard to keep that going.
yeah.
believe-
That's why. You
but
call
they
it-
suck.
That's why I don't. Why I listen to Yinzers, I don't know. I'm trying to. Why I listen to Yinzers, I have no idea. Anyway, I'm going with the Denver Broncos. They have the best defense in the league for a reason. And as long as they score more than 10 points this week, they should be fine. Go.
Guys, it's a team of destiny. Losing to the Bills and coming off a bye. Patrick Mahomes throwing 500 yards. Going with the Chiefs.
All right, finally, we'll wrap it up. The Eagles have looked.
Wait. Are we seriously going to skip what might be the literal game of the year?
How many games have we picked so far? 3.
We've only picked 3.
What?
Yeah,
We did start the show late.
Jesus.
we did. We started at 4:05.
What have we been doing?
What
We
have we been
started at
doing?
4:05.
All right, quick game.
We're finishing with that
We
one.
have 7 minutes.
Let's go Lions.
We're gonna go to the Eagles, who have been soaring to nothingness. They're taking on the Lions that looked really good last week. I am going with Detroit. Sorry, Saquon Barkley. You know, they've been good on the road, the Lions. They just did very bad things to Washington. They won by double their score. The Lions
front of
now
the
know how to
president.
move the ball. I'm scared that the Lions can move the ball with Jamison Williams. I thought that was a myth. I thought he was the next Keon Coleman. He's not, because Keon Coleman can't get 100 yards.
Didn't have any defensive backs benched for giving up those plays.
That is true. And while Jamison Williams has been just as bad as Keon Coleman, I would know. I have both of them in fantasy.
Okay.
Yikes.
JMO did have 100 yards.
At least JMO could separate.
JMO is getting better.
He is getting better. He's starting to find form, and he's also starting to get touchdowns. So because the Lions have more weapons that actually like to do things. Sorry, AJ Brown.
Must be nice.
I'm going with the Lions, and I think this game is going to be a fun one. But I'm picking a good old win for the Detroit Lions for them to head to 7-3.
Yeah, keep it simple. Jahmyr Gibbs is having a much better season than Saquon Barkley. So I'm going Detroit.
Well, I truly want to know what in God's name is going on with the Philadelphia Eagles offense. Seriously, they are almost
Was Kellen
unwatchable.
Moore the answer?
I Kevin
Ask the
Couture.
Saints, dude.
Kevin
Tyler
Couture-
Shuck?
I'll tell you who's not. Kevin Patullo is not the
They
answer.
figured it out for like a week and then went back to being
We've
bad.
known this forever. Oh, the 1 week they figured it out was against the Rams. How fitting is that?
They had a good game
Anyway,
against the Vikings.
I'm going with a little bit. The Vikings defense is very suspect. Anyway, the
Well,
Lions did unspeakable things to the Commanders in front of the president on Veterans Day weekend. The Lions are right now a well-oiled machine, and they're what we like to call a wagon. They should have never lost to the Vikings. That game was a fluke. I'm going with Detroit.
All right,
How
let's
many
wrap it
games
up because we
sweet.
got places to be.
do.
The Niners. I'm kidding.
Oh, God.
The Seahawks
Give
They're
a
on-
set. No.
against the Los Angeles Rams. Though, yes, they're
The
going to get.
49ers are.
Well,
oh,
we
yeah,
do
for the
want to pick the
Cardinals.
greatest upset of all time: the Jets beating the Patriots, or the great game between the who else we got?
The Giants and Packers.
Dylan Gabriel about to have a master
Oh,
class
how about
against
the
Raiders?
Titans actually beating the Texans?
Not
Ja-
possible.
Jameis,
Not
Jameis Winston against the Packers.
Dylan, like you mentioned, Dylan Gabriel against the Browns.
You can watch
Dak
the-
Prescott throwing for 700 yards.
We get Uncle Bowl
I
again.
actually would love to see that. Dak
You could
Prescott throwing
watch
for like a
the,
million yards.
You can watch the Pats Jets game
There's
tomorrow
gonna
night
be
on
no
Amazon
defense in that
Prime on
Raiders-Cowboys
Thursday Night
game.
Football.
the Raiders
bro.
don't play. Actually, the Raiders defended the Broncos well. They just couldn't move the ball.
See if
Shout out Dak Prescott. You
Broncos
better
are a
go
good
throw for like 300.
yeah, you better
300
go
yards.
ballistic. The Raiders did.
Shavante, yeah, Cowboys are not losing. If they lose,
Ashton Genty though.
That would be hilarious.
200 yards on the
If they
Cowboys
lose to the
defense.
Cardinals and Raiders on Monday Night
54,
Football, back
42
to
the
weeks,
score.
so help me
that'd
God.
be fun.
About to be a movie.
That would-
18 field goals from Brandon.
All right,
All right, let's
From
go.
70.
here we go.
All right, Rams Seahawks. You're last.
Fine.
I will start. The Seahawks are one of the few teams that are, I believe, might be the only team left that are undefeated on the road this
They
year.
are. They're
And
undefeated on the road.
there doesn't seem like a team that could stop who I believe has been the one of, if not the best receiver in the NFL last couple of weeks. No one is going to stop JSN.
I thought you were going
I-
to say Rashid
I
Shaheed.
thought you were gonna say Puka for a second.
I believe he's the leading receiver in terms of yards.
This season,
This
yes,
season?
JSN is,
Mhm.
but only
Yeah.
because Puka got injured.
because he's 1,000 yards. It's week 11. I don't think that will change. I am a little bit worried about how Seattle could stop the run. They haven't played a good run team on the road yet. At least I don't. Not to my memory. I think this game will be high scoring. I think this game will be fun. But in the end, I am going to take the team that have been dominant on the road all season. I am taking Seattle.
What you said about shootout, I completely believe. I mean, the weapons are just galore in this match for both of these teams, really. I mean, two of the arguably maybe the top two receivers in the league, at least right now, between these two teams. But again, as I've said in previous predictions, the Sam Darnold-led offense is just absolutely clicking right now. You add Rashid Shaheed in at the trade deadline. Thanks.
You're going.
Thanks for not going to Buffalo, man.
You're going.
Awesome.
Why did they come to my rivals? What are we doing
You're
here?
goat,
Well, I mean,
Rashid
he's
Shaheed.
goated back with Clint Kubiak. They're a really, really dominant group offensively, and also defense. Obviously, they showed really great against
Love their
the
secondary.
Cardinals, which
I-
isn't.
I
saying
was
much, but-
concerned about their secondary a couple weeks ago. I forgot to mention this. I was worried about their defense. Now I'm not.
Now they are absolutely clicking again, and obviously this is between two teams that are playing some of the best ball of the season. But again, like you've said, they're undefeated on the road. They've just been absolutely dominant. I'm going to go with the Seahawks in this one.
All right.
We already know what this pick is, but just yeah.
I appreciate the confidence. I would just like to remind everybody, for those that are watching the game, the Rams will be debuting their Midnight Mode Rivalries jerseys for the first time all season against the Seattle Seahawks.
4 out of 10, I would assume.
No, they're actually nice jerseys. They are good
It's
jerseys.
going to be the
if
one
you've seen
saving
them.
grace of the game.
The Rams come into this game at 3.5-point favorites, taking on the Seattle Seahawks, who, fun fact, by the way, have never beaten the Rams when Matthew Stafford is under center. The only quarterbacks they've beat are John Wolford, Jimmy Garoppolo, and the one time Baker Mayfield was on the Rams. Yes, that was actually a
Haven't beat
real
Seahawks
thing.
Sam Darnold.
Well, I'm talking about in the McVay era. Well, as long as Stafford has been
Golf was the start of the
I'm
McVay
saying
era.
since Stafford has been the quarterback,
Yeah.
he has never lost to the Seattle Seahawks. Now
Jared Goff knows how to lose.
he does, but he beat them in a playoff game once, believe it or
Still
not,
knows how to lose.
with a broken thumb. Anyway, the biggest thing for this game is the thought. It's not the fact that the Rams defense can shut down Seattle. I mean, Sam Darnold still has nightmares of Jared Verse when he goes to sleep at night from Jared Verse going full on Nacho Libre on him in the wild card game against the Vikings. Sam Darnold is facing an even better Rams defensive line than what they were last year. The MVP front runner, by the way, who has thrown 22 straight touchdowns
They're not playing
without
Drake
an
May.
interception. Stafford has better numbers. Look it up.
Jonathan Taylor's on this.
Jonathan Taylor, they will never give a running back MVP. That's just the reality.
Deserves it.
I will search up the MVP odds. Just go.
Fair enough. Anyway, the biggest thing is if the Rams, everyone wants to talk about the Rams offense. I want to talk about Seattle's defense. And the biggest thing with Seattle's defense is I don't know if they're going to be able to stop the Rams' explosive offense. If they play half of how they played against San Francisco this Sunday, I don't see a world where the Rams lose this game. It's either the Rams are going to win by 10 plus points and expose the stupid Seattle Sea Chickens, the frauds that they are, or they're going to win off some game-winning BS drive on a ridiculous catch by Jack Smith and Jigba. Regardless, never go against the family. I'm taking the Rams to improve to 8-2. They are 2 plays away from being 10-0. They're the uncrowned number 1 team in the league, and you're going to see it on Sunday.
By the way, the odds currently per ESPN bet, Matt Stafford's third, which
Who is he under?
he is behind Drake May and Jonathan Taylor.
This is
Yo,
ridiculous.
am I like the greatest of all?
This is ridiculous.
Jonathan
What the
Taylor
heck?
is second.
What the
He
heck?
was second
This
this
is
morning.
ridiculous.
I had the odds saved this morning.
This is ridiculous.
Jonathan Taylor
is
is
correct.
second.
Stafford has better stats than May. What are the voters watching?
It's called most valuable.
The best
And-
team in the AFC, probably.
Yeah.
Best team in the AFC versus the best team in the NFC.
The Seahawks.
Also, is Daniel Jones gonna be up for this? Because he's like 7-2 or whatever. And
Is it
it's
such a
God,
bad
no.
last 2 games?
God.
well,
though?
he's a quarterback leading a 7-2 team.
You never know.
Lamar, like a couple other teams, quarterbacks.
NFL
No, this is
is full.
exactly how it went down for the last 2, Lamar
That
and
is
Allen.
true.
But if you keep
The
cases,
NFL is
but it's
absolutely-
Daniel Jones.
It is
Like it's
Daniel
not
Jones.
they're not gonna hold him to the
Matthew
same
Stafford had
magnitude.
6 more touchdown passes than Drake May, by the way.
But
That'd be
guess
Drake
what?
May.
Drake May has been more impactful for that team.
My-
He could do a ton more. He also does something called beat the Bills and the Bucks, and that might be throwing him
We're
over
gonna
the
beat the
top.
Bucks in 2 weeks.
Hey, you never
What
know.
are you talking
You
about?
sure about that one?
Yes.
Bucky Irving
I
might be
am.
back.
Bucky Irving will be back for that.
Not worried.
Chris Godwin gonna
Bucky
be back.
Irving, Emeka Ibuka,
Wait, no, it's
Vita
week
Vea?
12.
Ohio
Oh,
State threat.
so
Ohio
we're not
State's scarring
facing
you to death.
We're not facing Bucky Irving. There we go.
Yes, he is.
No, week 12. He's come back 13.
No, he's supposed to come back next week.
He's supposed to come back next week.
Whatever. We'll still be.
He's
there.
We'll
supposed to come
find
back this week.
out the Rams' fate. You can check out all those games. Either if you're watching the Jets, you're watching us beat the Patriots. somehow.
Hopefully.
Probably
No.
not. You can watch that on Amazon Prime, or you can watch all the NFL games on Sunday. And there's so much more content with Iona Men's Soccer. They play tomorrow. Also, they are on ESPN Plus. Iona Men's Basketball are on ESPN Plus, or you can check us out on WIUR Radio. Coverage beginning at 6:50 Eastern Time on Mixler. You also can check us out on Tuesday when the Gales face Princeton, also at 6:50 Eastern. That's when our coverage begins. For Chase Caridi, JJ Seglio, I'm Robbie Basil saying so long. We'll see you guys next week.
Live from New York, this is WIUR Radio.